Hey everyone, Nick from Millburn here, and I kind of feel like I'm going to show my age. I kind of feel like Walter Cronkite because on a much lower level we have breaking news. So let me just start by saying tonight was Selection Sunday, and there was a very slim chance that we were going to make the NCAA tournament, and we did not. So let's just start with that, and I'm going to read this statement because there was speculation that we were going to go to the Crown tournament if we did not win the NCAA tournament. So this is from Seton Hall Athletics. Our men's basketball program gave everything it had in what was a successful season that included 21 victories, the 9th top 5 finish in the Big East over the last 11 seasons, and the nation's second best win turnaround from last season. After not receiving an NCAA tournament bid, our student athletes and coaches, in conjunction with administration, have decided to decline non-NCAA post-tournament invitations for the year and turn their focus to the 2026-2027 season. We congratulate Coach Holloway and his team on a tremendous season, and we thank Seton Hall fans for their support. All season long, our university remains committed to building on the successes of this year as we prepare for the future. So that's breaking news. So let's just dive into that a little bit. So we were contractually obligated to go to the Crown, okay? And if we don't go to the Crown, we can't go to anywhere. We can't go to the NIT. Okay, now per Jerry Carino, and I heard this from other people, Jerry Carino at NJ Hoops Haven, he spoke with Shaw and Brian Felt. There are 2 outs for the Crown, 2 outs, 1 change. Okay, and from what I'm hearing, that is not relevant here. Okay, I repeat, you 2 outs for the Crown. Number 1, a coaching change, and that's not relevant here. Number 2, not enough players available to play. And I heard the number was 7. So we're hearing that Shaw took a vote and there was enough no votes to pull out. And that's what they decided to do. So that's where we are right now. We did not make the NCAA tournament. And it sounds from reading that quote and from reading other things that the team thought that they had an outside shot and that they're a little disappointed that they did not make the NCAA tournament. They took a team vote on the Crown because the Crown's brackets are coming out tomorrow, and the team decided not to go to the Crown, which will preclude us from going to any other tournament, i.e. the NIT. So I'm joined by the panel here, as always, Bill Hathaway, Coach Tom O'Brien, and Blackjack Bobby Guarente. Tom O'Brien, your thoughts on what you've heard so far?
I think we talked about this potential issue if we didn't get into the NCAA tournament. The fact that we have a contract, or the Big East, not Seton Hall, the Big East has a contract with the Crown. And with that, you take the 2 teams, which would be Creighton and us. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? Creighton would be the other team.
You would think Creighton came in 4th, right? We came in 5th. We came in 4th.
It had nothing to do with the tournament. It had to do where you finished in your conference play. So, I'm surprised, but I'm not surprised that we're not going to the Crown. And I don't believe Carino's story. I don't believe all the players voted. You walk away from $35,000. This was last year's total. A chance to win $500,000. That would average, because we have 15 players, 14. That averages about $33,000 per player. That was last year's purse. So I don't know what this year's purse is. It's kind of hard to believe that everyone would vote to not continue to play and get paid. We've got a lot of players that, 3-year starters, they're not playing in the NBA. They're not moving on. So to walk away from the money from the player's perspective, that's kind of hard to believe. I don't believe that. Second, the school also gets a stipend for this. I'm trying to dig out what got paid last year to, I think Nebraska or Wisconsin was the winner for that. So the school gets a substantial. So this just happened. I'm sure there's more to come down the road, but I don't believe any story where they voted that they would walk away from making money.
Now we just got a comment, and everyone, please feel free from the best parking attendant, not a parking attendant, but he handles parking at Seton Hall, and that's not an easy job. So my good friend Ann, none of this makes any sense. And we're trying to make sense of it, but right now I agree with you, it doesn't. So I got it. Someone just sent me this. This is from NJ.com. So let's this is from Shah. I think everybody thought we had a chance to make the tournament. Everybody was disappointed, and maybe they'll let their emotions take over, Holloway said when asked about the change of heart from Friday to Sunday. Because supposedly Friday there was interest. I don't know what happened between then and now. The whole group didn't want to do it, so they decided if the whole team didn't want to do it, we weren't going to do it. It was a great season. Obviously disappointed. Certain things didn't fall our way. I thought we did enough. It's crazy to think that for me, 2 of Shah's 4 years, we won 20-plus games. And normally in the Big East, and you could look back at this historically, when you do that, you're a lock. He can't believe it. So Mr. Hathaway, your thoughts. What's going on, Bill?
You know what? I'm kind of complex right now. And what you just read, I kind of to, respect his decision. If that's the case, I'm kind of shocked. Like it just, I was thinking Friday after that big game against St. John's and the semifinals, the way he was talking, the kids were motivated to participate in the upcoming crown. Like Tom said, that's money for the school, and plus there's a stipend. But there's more to come in this. We don't know how many players were in the room. If the Big East is obligated to do that contract, oh well. I mean, I guess it's Seton Hall's decision to do that, and an exact moment in time that I'm kind of bewildered and shocked, but I'm kind of happy for Shah, the coach of the year, and also in reference to his record, 20 win season, but more to come in this. We don't know the inside of it, or what goes behind closed doors and what's decided, and it is what it is.
Bill, couple things. One, you would think that like an Elijah Fisher, a Stefan Payne, an AJ Stanley McCray, who are done playing basketball, would want to play some more basketball.
Well, I think the case that I read in an article that Bud Clark wanted to play.
He said that on Friday. He said that on
Friday at a press conference. And matter of fact, let me see. They print out stuff in press conferences. If I go to it right here.
Let me. I just got this from somebody else, and
I'll look for the information.
Yeah, someone just told me that, and this is just speculation. And Coach O'Brien said 35,000. If you were a player and you're a free agent, right? Would you take a risk for 35,000? I mean, I don't know. I don't know, and I don't know if that came into play. But just remember, all these guys now have agents, so who knows what's going on. But what we do know is there was a change of heart from Friday to Sunday. Bobby, our founder, president, CEO of Surge Sports, and Bobby, thanks for giving us this platform tonight to hop on. Bobby, what's going on here?
Hey, Tom, real quick. I thought immediately of the Notre Dame thing, right? When I read that press release from Seton Hall basketball, I thought of Notre Dame backing out of all bowls once they didn't make the. It was very eerily similar. Like, oh my God, deja vu all over again.
Yeah, but Bobby, what do you think? Because on Friday, we thought we were a lock to go to the Crown. Bobby was looking for plane reservations for Vegas.
Well, like I mentioned offline, the two caveats of getting out of that Crown contract: new coach, not enough players.
Right.
Are we getting a new coach?
Well, that's for saying no. That right away that got shot down. That got shot down.
Or are the players, or are a majority of the players going into the portal who are eligible because they don't want to hurt themselves before going into the portal the week after?
That is speculation, right? And that's what people are speculating. That if
I'll tell you real quick,
players,
I'm a Notre Dame fan, and what they did is what they did, right? But I'm getting sick and tired of anything in college sports now going to the courts, people breaking contracts, people breaking the way it used to be. Come on now. You know, it's gonna get to the point now where it's gonna be one super conference in each sport, and that's it, and everybody else is gonna be left out.
All right, we got some. We're getting breaking news on top of breaking news.
How did he beat that? How did Nick get in front of me?
Nick Jr.
Wait a minute,
Bobby. Nick, you scoop Bobby. Women's host Missouri on Thursday.
I'll be there.
And we are going to have Coach Boz on very shortly to talk about that. But the women are home against Missouri on Thursday. Thank you, Junior.
7 o'clock, right? 7 p.m.
Now you're scooping everybody, Bill.
Yep, Max Sweeney is supposed to be that thing too.
Bill, did you find out what you were looking for?
No, I haven't looked. I'll go back and look.
All right, we're gonna bring the adult in the room on. Paul, where'd Paul go?
Go to Paul. Bring me out. Bring me out for a minute.
Paul. Oh my God, I keep losing Paul.
All
right, Paul. What is going on, Paul? I know you did research. What is going on, Paul? What do you think?
Well, I have to tell you that I am completely flabbergasted. First thing I'm trying to figure out is the same thing that Bobby talked about. Is this the seniors, the guys who are leaving, who are saying, "Hey, we're just through. We don't want to be bothered anymore"?
No, you would think they want to play, Paul.
Yeah,
you would think so, especially with money hanging out there. And the other thing about this is, last season the Crown was 16 teams. This year it is down to 8 teams.
Right.
Which doubles your opportunity to get some money. Right? I mean, you win one game, you're in the semifinals. You know, are we dealing with the returning players all thinking to themselves that they want to get in the portal and they don't want to risk getting hurt? You know,
that has been speculated. That has been speculated, Paul.
And so that to me that seems much more likely. You know, AJ Stanton, McCray, Stephon Payne, these guys, they're not, you know, I'm with Tom. They're not signing 2-way contracts. You know, they're going to have to spend, maybe they'll play overseas for a couple of years, who knows, but this is an opportunity to walk away with some money. I have to believe that this is a question about avoiding injury among players who are trying to decide whether they want to get into the portal. And that is people like Hines and people like Clark.
Yeah.
Those would be the two guys who would be the most interesting to other schools.
So Paul, you're going, and Coach O'Brien said about 35 a player, 35K a player. You're saying that's not enough, correct?
Well, if Bud Clark is going to sign a $750,000 deal with Indiana,
St. John's,
right.
St. John's has Darling at point, but I'm sure there are schools that are interested. And Hines is, I wrote that I think Hines, along with the kid from UConn, the freshman, are probably the two big men with the biggest ceilings, highest ceilings in the Big East. Right, so there are going to be a lot of people lining up for Najai Hines if he's interested in going. But again, this is all speculation. I want to be very clear. I don't know anything.
All speculation. We cannot emphasize that enough. We gave you the facts that we know, and now this is speculation.
But it is, to me, strange that anybody would walk away from an opportunity, go to Las Vegas, play in an 18 tournament and walk away with some cash, unless there's more money for something else down the road.
So guys, let me not interrupt, but we have two stories going on. We have two breaking stories. The women are home on Thursday. Is that correct? Against Missouri, right? And now Mrs. Palmerson, saying that's a 7 o'clock start. And then Ann from the parking office. Everyone get out and support our ladies. Yes, Ann. Let's go Pirates.
What's bizarre,
then,
Nick? What's bizarre about that game Thursday is that Missouri is the 4 seed.
You have plans.
Wow.
So a seeded team is actually coming here to play us.
So we only got one game at Walsh, huh?
Yeah, only one game at Walsh.
And getting back to what Paul was talking about, and we could talk about this a little bit. Christina Palmerson again, I will be so bummed if we cannot sustain those players. I want Bud Hines and Simpkins. Coach O'Brien, you've been talking about this.
Yeah.
You've been talking about this more than anyone. What do you think, Coach?
So I do have an inside track on a team that did not make the NCAA tournament that was on the bubble. They have declined to play in the NIT. They're discussing this evening if they are going to go to the Crown or not. But that coach will not be returning next year.
So that's the reason that team's not going.
Right now, that is correct.
Wow.
So, guys, I hate to say it, but there is a good possibility Shaw could be moving on. It makes sense. Big East Coach of the Year. He's turned the program around. There are a ton of Division I team schools that are looking for a younger coach to coach. So this excuse does not make sense to me, guys. It makes Stefan Payne, AJ McCray, Josh Rivera. Who else is a senior there? Oh, Fisher. That's 4 players right there.
You would think they would want to play. Now we got another comment.
You would think so. So
yeah.
Plus the school gets money, and also they get exposure to play. So just like you said before, they may not be going in the NBA, but they're going to be on TV, and who knows? They could get picked up in some Italian league or overseas league that sees them because it's broadcast here. So it doesn't make sense. It makes no sense at all.
So let me just say this. We don't know what the vote was, right? So it was a secret vote, I guess. We don't know what the vote was. We don't know the upperclassmen against younger class. We have no idea how this vote went. But again, just to be clear, there are 2 reasons that a team can turn down the Crown. One, if they have a coach that is leaving, and we're told no. And 2, if they took a vote and more players voted no, and I don't think you got 7 or 8 players. That seems to be the reason right now. Paul, you have a comment. Go.
To address what Tom said. I just want to address what Tom said. I am usually when a coach is talking about leaving, they get very cagey. They don't say things like, "I'm not going anywhere." And that's what Shaw said in his statement. I'm not going anywhere, and Brian Feld said Shaw's not going anywhere. Normally, when they're chatting, they say things, and you say, what does that mean, right? They get very, like they could run for Congress. They're so evasive. But he was pretty adamant that he doesn't have any intention of leaving.
Paul, I heard in the press conference, he was asked that question, and he says, I'm the coach of Seton Hall. He did not say he was coming back. He says, I am the coach of Seton Hall. Unless something else, I listened, I read the article, which kind of like, wow, well, you should be saying, I'm coming back. I am the coach of Seton Hall. I don't know.
So guys, we got some comments. Bill, read this comment, and I got another one. Bill, read that comment, please.
Okay, his name is Jared Sorrell. Extreme strange. If they were afraid of injury, they would have set out the end of the season allow the guy from Kansas, something does not add up.
Yeah, I agree. So we got another one. We got another comment. Bill, read this one from Joanne Colucci Callahan.
So disappointing they declined. I have a sinking feeling about this. Did Coach Shaw say he is returning?
Paul and Tom, take that comment.
I did not hear that in the press. I didn't. Go ahead, Paul.
No, well, I'm going to defer to you because the bottom line is, the question is, was he being evasive when he answered his answer? And I just assumed when he said that he was saying, I'm here. But now the more I think about it, the more it sounds like he's saying, yeah, today I'm the coach of Seton Hall. Nothing about tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that
so
was.
we would have to see.
Yeah.
Like, it becomes a little bit more interesting.
And on that note, on the Shaw note, I'm going to read this comment from Dan Scherer. What about the Board of Regents commitment? Anybody want to take that one? Because I heard that Shaw hasn't gotten his budget yet. I don't know if that's true, but I don't know. Yeah, things are going on out there. Anybody want to take that comment about the commitment from the Board of Regents?
I don't know. I don't know. That could be a huge problem if he hasn't gotten the budget.
I have heard before from Brian Felt that our school is committed to the basketball program. So that's an on-the-record comment at the beefsteak dinner last year. So I'll leave that at that. Dan, that is what I heard.
Yeah, but
from Brian Felt
but
in person. Paul, go.
But yeah, Nick, the only thing I want to say though is it's one thing to be committed. It's another thing to be $9 million committed, which is what Coach Pitino has said constitutes a commitment for the Big East and this environment.
Right. Good point.
And we've said before, it's not a lack of will, it's a lack of cash.
Right.
If there was $10 million sitting in the safe somewhere, I'm sure Brian Felt would open up the safe and spend it on players, but the money's not there.
Bill, read this comment from Jared Zuzai.
My thoughts are Clark and Parker wouldn't commit. They wouldn't have a point guard.
Now, Jared, that's interesting because on Friday, Bud Clark said he's looking forward to playing. So look, people change their minds. I have no idea. That's what makes this a little crazy, right, guys?
Yeah. There's so much behind the scenes we don't know, right? But for Seton Hall to make a statement 30 minutes after that we didn't get into the tournament. Okay, we aren't even playing in any postseason tournament, and that's it. So yes, the turnaround time we had to notify the folks, in Las Vegas that we were coming or not, so they can either move on to the next two teams, which I think would be either Creighton.
Providence, maybe, right? Paul, who would be next? Who would be next?
DePaul, I think.
DePaul? Yeah, DePaul.
Yeah, I think it's DePaul next, right?
Almost, yeah.
Hey guys, I have from Thursday's from post-game media conference, St. John's and Seton Hall. This is a printout sheet that the media gets where the players and coaches make comments. So I'm gonna read verbatim what Adam Clark said, a couple parts. Adam Clark, I'm definitely hoping to keep continuing playing, and I'm definitely looking to keep playing at Seton Hall, and whatever happens, happens. So that's one of the statements. So the next statement, it goes with Shaheen Holloway. Coach Holloway says, I'll be honest with you, I told these guys in the locker room, I think if the committee really sits down and has, good minds in there, but I know they do. But if they look at our resume and look at what we did, our body of work is really good. It's way better than a lot of people. When he says on the bubble, I'm not sure why our league's not getting the recognition that we deserve. That's another statement that he made on Friday's press conference. And this is the Big East's media that the media members get when they don't want to print it. This is a printout what they said, like a transcript. Okay, another part in the conversation during the press conference. It says you played St. John. Well, I'm gonna pass that. Shaheen Holloway, can we? Is the question? The question was, can you talk about how this group performed this year and they lived up to your 3Ds? Shaheen Holloway, thought we did. I thought for the most part, I thought this group was really fun to coach. For me as a coach, they give me everything I asked for. If you could ask for nothing more than that, they definitely lived up to the 3Ds. They carried themselves well on and off the court.
All right, so let me just say a couple things. One is, look, I didn't expect us to make the tournament because when we should have made it 2 years ago, when we had a stronger resume, we got snubbed. But I thought there was an outside shot of lightning striking, okay? But then, if you look at it, we lost, Paul, correct me if I'm wrong, 7 games to teams that made the NCAA tournament, right? Out of our losses, 7 of them. And we beat one, North Carolina State, who were they a 6th seed? Am I wrong?
11.
11, who are 11
seed at the time.
seed.
But we beat them, and their record wasn't really impressive. So, do you guys think this is a snub or Paul? And
I think it's a snub. I think it's total. I think it's total disrespect that this team has performed to the best of their knowledge, and the NCAA has kicked our asses to the curb and told us we're not good enough to perform in the NCAA tournament, which is a slap in the face. And another thing, how does it? I don't know if you've seen a Nick or a Tom or Paul. How does a team like Hofstra get into the NCAA tournament? Or Queens is a new college up in North Carolina, Tom.
Yeah.
Queens College or something?
Yeah.
How the hell did they get in the tournament? And what is their schedule like?
Guys,
So I just don't get it.
Bill, let Tom or Paul answer that. When you guys go.
So a couple of things. So the automatic qualifiers, anybody below a 12 seed is getting in just because they won their league. And who won their league tournament. So every league gets a bid. And but so if you're a 12 seed or below, they're just there. But what I think is I put something up on the Facebook group, and it was an interview with Crazy Frank Martin, the guy who used to coach at South Carolina, and was the guy who was coaching UMass, who just beat Miami of Ohio, who went 31-0 and got a play-in game, the 11 play-in first 4 game.
Wow.
Okay, because they're not a good enough team. 31-0. And what he said, he was saying this out loud, that a couple of years ago, the heads of the big conferences, the Power Four, said that the RPI was allowing too many mid-majors into the tournament. So they came up with this net formula that Frank Martin is saying it. He was saying it on X, is designed to make sure that the big conferences get all the bids.
Right.
The structure of the basically you give everybody a net before the season starts, and it's very difficult to change it too much, because if everybody in the Southeastern Conference has got a net between 1 and 30, every game you play is a quad 1 game. Meanwhile, we kept saying the only quad 1 opportunities we had were St. John's, Villanova, and UConn, and all the other ones were sort of right on the bubble or right on the edge. So it doesn't surprise me that since they went to this net, assuming Frank Martin is telling the truth, that all of a sudden every year for the Big East is a down year. Right? We've been hearing that. The Big East is having a down year. The Big East is having a down year. Well, yeah, if you assign all of us a net of 60 at the beginning of the season, we're having a down year. So, I think that there's a fundamental flaw in the plan that's designed specifically to keep the ACC, Big Ten, and SEC in the tournament all the time. And that's one of the reasons why we didn't make it. So I don't know whether you call that a snub or just a flat out screwing. Either way, we weren't even on, people looking at those numbers and the formula. We weren't even on the bubble. We were the last team even listed on the bubble.
So Paul, you're exceedingly bright, and Tom and all of us, we're all college graduates. You could calculate numbers to do anything you want them to, right? You can make formulas, and so that's interesting. But this is from Jared Zuzai. DePaul is lowest ranked NET team at 102, higher than Maryland, Rutgers, Oregon, etc. The bottom of the Big East was not that weak. I agree with that. I totally agree with that. And then on us from Junior, 9 of our losses by 10 or less. That's pretty like we're in every game. But like Paul said, they're looking at that net formula, and our numbers weren't there, right? Tom,
yeah, but
right?
I mean, and Nick, you mentioned it. You do people's taxes for a living,
Right?
right?
Right.
So the bottom, but I think that this is going to be yet another case of the NCAA killing the golden goose, because I read someplace else that college basketball is not football. College basketball is not just the South and Texas and Southern California. College basketball is the Northeast, and they keep on screwing the Northeast, and people in New York don't watch it. All of a sudden, they're not going to be getting $1 billion from CBS.
That's right.
Wow.
All right, guys, we got a lot of comments tonight. This show is hopping. Matty Palms, Matty P. Strength of schedule is considered. Paul, is it considered?
I don't know what their formula is. I mean, when you think about how many quad 1, quad 2, quad 3, and quad 4 victories you have, that almost by definition is building in strength of schedule. The problem is that they've decided in October who's good and who's not.
You know what, hey guys, real quick too. The schedule thing. Miami of Ohio played nobody.
Yeah.
And they make it, right?
Yeah.
Who cares? All right. If they're undefeated throughout the whole season, yes. All right, they had their loss. They played nobody, yet they're there. It's ridiculous.
So couple of things. What are we looking like with Coach Boz? Because we have 2 stories here. We're Coach Bozzella is gonna come on, and we're gonna talk women very shortly.
9:45.
9:45, and what? Oh, so
Okay.
in about
5
minutes. So we got a quote. Another comment from Adam M. Kaplan. Just curious, were there rumblings of let's celebrate Shaw right now because he may not be here much longer? At the Essex County Country Club event on March 9th, we promoted that event. I saw this quote thrown out around that day. Keeping great coaches and players in South Orange takes all of us working together. I was wondering if there was some unfortunate news brewing, not that we know of. Pure speculation, Adam. We were told that this was not a coaching. So there's 2 reasons, because we have people jumping on, that you get to turn down the crown. 1, if your coach is leaving, or 2, if you take a vote of your players and they vote no, you don't have a certain number of players. So we were told that it's not because of the coaching, it was because of the vote. Tom O'Brien, you had wanted to say something.
No, and Paul, you nailed the explanation on, what the NCAA wants in this big tournament. We aren't taking the best 51 teams. They don't want that. They like to see upsets. So when you have teams like Hofstra, and you've got Lehigh, and you've got McNeese, there's a slim chance that one of them will upset a top 10. Slim. But it happens. Oregon State, what was it? Oregon State, they went on a run. They were I don't know, a 13th seed, I think they were. But that's what the NCAA wants. Do they want the best teams to compete? No. This is all about money. This is about putting these guys. I look at LIU, or I look at Siena. They're in the tournament here. Yes, they won their conference, they won their division, they won their tournament, and by the rules that's in place today, they can be a part of the NCAA tournament. And yes, does it give them does it give the underdog a chance? Yes. But do we really put the best 64, 67 teams? I look at KenPom right now. Guess where we're ranked, guys?
What are we ranked?
It hasn't changed in about 3 weeks. 51.
There you
51.
go. So guys,
51.
we're gonna get Coach Boz in a second, but I just want to end this segment by saying, Bill, read this because supposedly Bill and Bobby were gonna go with this guy to Vegas, but now I think that's done. But Bill, read this.
It's too bad we're not playing in the Crown. I was going to charter my jet and take some of my pirate buddies out to Vegas to watch. The Crown is a joke anyway, but we definitely should have accepted.
So there goes Bill and Bobby's great adventure.
No, I'll take the.
Hey, it's done. My name's Blackjack for a reason, baby.
So Bill and Bobby were gonna get flown in a jet to the Crown, and now that's out the window.
I'll take the trip. I'll take it.
All right, so I'm gonna hand this segment over right now to the CEO, the founder, the owner, the originator, Bobby Blackjack Guarente of Surge Sports. Guys, thank you everyone for all your comments on the men's team, and now we're switching gears.
Now
Bobby,
let's please have comments for the women's team as we now bring on their head coach and a fellow graduate, a great man, a great person. Oh, we lost him again. Hold on. I hate this device.
Okay.
Hold on, Tony. We got you. There we go.
Hey, Tony, how you doing, Coach?
Hi, guys.
hey Coach,
How you doing tonight?
Good. Thank you for having me on. Can you see
You're
me
welcome,
okay?
sir.
there you go, Coach.
I can get on my computer if you want, Bob, or is the phone all right?
You're good. You're fine.
You're fine.
How we doing?
We are good. How are you doing?
I was a little surprised with a little of that seating for us, but
No seed at all, right? You got no seed, right? Is that what I see?
We got a 5 seed, and I wasn't real happy.
Oh, a 5 seed. All right.
Yeah, I thought we'd get a 3 or 4. Now, we did get a 5 seed where we host the 4 seed. So that, I think, factored in a little on it because they didn't want us to play Columbia since we played them in the regular season, and we didn't want to go there. So we got a home game. Now, obviously, it's against Missouri. I'm a little surprised we were seated behind Harvard, to be honest with you. I don't think Harvard should have gotten a better seed than us, but, it is what it is. We're going to have a great team attraction and a team from the SEC in Missouri. I know our girls will be psyched and fired up, and we really need to get a big crowd because this will be probably the last local home game for basketball this year. So let's get everyone out.
Hey, Coach, you've been invited to the big dance in the women's side a couple of times.
Yes.
What is your day like leading up to 7 p.m. when they announce the selections? Are you on the edge of your seat? What's that day like?
Well, 3 times. One, we got an automatic bid at LIU, so we knew that. We knew we were in. The 2 other times, they were at-large bids. So even though we thought we'd get in, we were, hoping for a 6 or a 7. Both times we got really not a good seed. We got a 9 Didi's senior year when we had a great team, had to go play Rutgers, which had 4 WNBA people in UConn's bracket. And then the next year we get an 8 seed and have to play the A10 champ, which was a very good team, Duquesne, in UConn's bracket. And we lost a game where we led in the 3rd quarter in that game. So, you're nervous, you're excited. I think the first time at Seton Hall was amazing. It was just, we had the band, everybody. The second time, it was good, but the men were going as well. They had just won the Big East championship. And we did a dual party, but the problem was the men, as soon as they got announced, they had to go to BYU. It was very difficult. So we didn't have the same energy that we had as the first time when we made it, or when I was at LIU. But we're gonna make it. We're gonna be in it next year. I'm telling you right now, we have a really good group of returning players. But we're gonna try and make a run in this tournament. It's not gonna be easy. Obviously, Missouri from the SEC is a strong program, brand new coach. And then if we were to fortunately win that game, we'd probably have to go to Provo, Utah, and play BYU.
Wow.
Coach, let me hop in and follow up on and Bobby's question. So 10 years ago, and I can't believe it's 10 years ago, we were all in Walsh watching the men's team, and we knew we were going, we just didn't know what our seating was going to be, and it was dragging and dragging, and then somehow it leaked that we were going to play Gonzaga,
Yeah,
and
I remember that.
before it was even announced. And I remember it was either my son or one of the other managers, went up to the coaches and told them they saw it on the internet. And next thing you know, they're running to the film room to grab tape. So my question is, has anyone started watching tape on Missouri yet?
Yeah, we spoke as a staff about 20 minutes ago, and Pete Snell leads our scout. All the coaches are involved. They've all started to watch. We gave the kids off tomorrow because we went Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We gave them off on purpose tomorrow so we can formulate the scout and have it ready. They'll have it sent to their phones tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow night, and then I'm sure they'll be ready for Tuesday and Wednesday's practices before we play Thursday against Missouri.
So when are you after this, are you going to sit down and start taking a look? You're going to start taking a look?
Yeah, I'll watch Missouri's last game before I go to bed for sure.
Wow.
Coach, you haven't played in about a week since the Big East tournament semifinals.
Yeah.
How was your week like? Are the ladies getting rested? Are they getting better for their injuries?
Well, we had so many injuries and they were so banged up, Bobby. We lost on Sunday in a very physical game where we lost Sahara to a sprained ankle as well. So we gave them Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday off. We traveled back Monday, but they all came in. They did treatment. It wasn't like they were home doing nothing. They all came in, did treatment and stuff. A lot of them shot anyway. Then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, we've had three of our best practices of the year. Savannah's getting used to the mask. Ari is getting her legs back. Remember, Ari didn't practice for a while because she had a concussion. Same with Shea Pinckney. So we're getting a little healthier there. Natalia's fingers and wrists are better. They're still not 100%. So that's it. Mariana's knee, which has been bothering her a lot, you definitely needed the days off, and she shot the ball really well today, which was the first time she shot it in practice well in a while. So I think we'll get the A version of Mariana as well. Jordana is a question mark. Jakayla has practice. We're hoping for her to play. We don't know. It'll be a question mark. She'll be a game time decision. I don't know if we can get any minutes from her or not, but we do get Shea back. Ari's back. Savannah's back. Natalia will be as close to 75, 80% as she can be. And Mariana will be closer to 75% than she's been.
Coach, did she hit a wall? I'm sorry. Nick, real quick.
Yeah.
Did she hit a wall, Mariana? The past couple of games, it seems like she was.
No, she jammed her knee right before the Big East tournament, Bobby.
Oh, okay.
And really, she shouldn't have played. She has a cyst in her knee, and when she jammed it, the cyst got dislodged and caused her knee not to be able to straighten. Now, she shouldn't have played, but she wanted to play. So I think we got the cyst moved. Our trainer has been able to, position it. So hopefully this week you'll see the Mariana that was first team all conference.
Nick?
Yeah, Coach, this is relevant because of what's going on with the men's team. Did your squad take a vote on this, or was it just a foregone conclusion that you guys were going no matter what?
Yeah, we have an edict amongst our program is, we want to play basketball. We don't care what tournament it is. Obviously, we want to go to the NCAA tournament. We don't ask, to be honest. If for some reason they didn't want to play, they could come in and tell me they don't want to play, and I would say fine. I mean, I would be disappointed. But the standard has been set from, the days of Lauren Park Lane and all that. And this is not criticism on the men. Everyone's different. But this is just, what we do. And, the BIT is a very, not to compare it to the Crown or the NIT. The BIT is a very prestigious women's basketball tournament. There were 13 automatic bids, so there was only 23 at-large choices. So there wasn't a lot of choices to get in. I mean, you look at schools like Marquette is not in it. East Carolina finished second in the American, is not in it. there's some other really good teams that are in it. I have no idea how Georgia Tech and Wisconsin got in it, but again, Power Four holds a lot of weight. But for us, our girls are excited to play. We had 3 great practices. you know, we were, devastated by injuries and our disappointment, but our girls wanted to at least that. And you know what the difference is a little bit for the men? It's hard to play in the Crown. You don't play for over 2 weeks. What are you
Right.
going to do for 2 weeks? Then you got
Right.
to go play 3 games right before the Final Four in Vegas. Like, it's a lot different. I think if our tournaments were positioned that way, maybe it would be different. But, we're playing a real tournament that 32 teams want to get in, and 32. I said 30. I did 36. 32. There's only 18 at larges. I think there were 13 or 14 automatics. 19, maybe 19 at larges. So it's hard to get in. We're excited to get in, and I think our tournament, the way it's positioned, is just a little bit different than the men. So I don't really think you can compare. If we had to wait 2.5, 3 weeks, maybe our decision would be different. But I make the decisions here. We're not at the voting stage, and for us.
The enthusiasm is starting to build. We have a comment from Ann Zavinsky. Let's do this. Go Pirates. Our ladies can do this. Yeah.
Yeah, we're excited. We're disappointed with, not even being considered. I mean, we finished the 3rd in the Big East. Our metrics are every bit as good as a lot of teams. People didn't factor in that we lost games with injuries, and that's supposed to be factored in. They decided not to do that, and that's fine. We want to go out, play a real good game against Missouri, and let the chips fall where they may. Let's get healthy. I think if we can get 3, 4 more days of treatment with our trainer and practice the way we did these last 3 days, I think we're going to have a chance to win the game. If not, it's a good SEC team. Even though they're 16-16, they are good in the SEC. They really are.
Coach, would Jordana being at Texas, does she have any insight on Missouri? You think?
Well, she texted me and she's like, "I can't wait to talk to you tomorrow." So, now it is a different coach, though. It is a
Okay.
different coach. So she didn't get a chance to coach play against these kids. But you talk about someone like Jordana. Look how well she's playing. She's really. I had said this for a long time. Give her time. Let her get her legs. Let her get comfortable. She's really come a long way, and I'm very proud of her.
Bill, any questions?
Yeah, Coach. Hey, good evening, Coach. How you doing, sir?
Nice to see you, Bill.
I got a question for you. In reference to the NIT tournament, what key players, the younger kids on the team, are you looking to play all your kids on Thursday, or you have a supplement of a lineup because you have some key players, Savannah Catalan, and what's the status with the team itself playing this week? And what key plays would you like to use, or in the lineup? Would you go with the same lineup you have gone all season long, or are you going to be changing up throughout the game? And because your bench has been very strong this year, in reference to the bench points.
Yeah, if we didn't have a strong bench, we wouldn't have won the 19 games. I'd like to get Ari, back to healthy. She came off that concussion. She played in the Big East tournament, but she's still not 100%. I'd like to get Shea from Achilles tendonitis healthy. So I'd like to get them some good solid minutes. Savannah's excited to play and, she's getting used to the mask. Mariana with her health, I think she wants to go out a lot stronger than, the last 2 Big East games. I think if we can get Jakayla back, it would help the program a lot. She was playing well. I'd love to see, Zahara play. I don't know if she's going to be able to because she really sprained her ankle bad in our end of our Villanova game. But I'd like to. It's we want to win. We want to win the tournament. We want to win. So I don't expect huge changes in the rotation. It'll depend on how well they're playing and how well practice goes. But we're here to win the game and try and advance as far as we can in this tournament. It's really hard. I mean, BYU's really good. Missouri from the SEC. I mean, geez. We played Auburn, which was, right in the same ballpark as Missouri, and that was a hard fought, really good win for us. And we played well. So and we had Jada back then. So we're gonna have to play well and, adjust. Ari's come a long way, so I'm excited for her to play this team, but it's gonna be a hard game.
Coach, how's Jada's recovery coming from her surgery?
I tell you, Bob, she's worked so hard. I'm so proud of her. She's in the training room 2 hours a day, 3 hours a day, doing work at home. I mean, if there's anyone that wants to come back and play Thursday, it would be Jada. Sometimes I don't count her out. I just see her shooting around. But on a serious note, she's just worked really hard, and she's gonna do everything she can to get back as soon as she can and help Seton Hall.
Tom or Paul, any questions for the coach?
No, Coach, congratulations. So this
Thank you,
Thursday,
guys.
7 o'clock at Walsh Gym, we need to
Ye-
fill that place.
Yeah,
Fill it.
last basketball home game of the year. I know our men will be there to support us. Shaheen and his crew have been amazing ambassadors. I mean, what a great year they had. What a great run they had. And, I have so much love and admiration for them and everything they've done. And, I just hope the boys come out like they have all year and cheer our girls on. And, like I said, so much love. And, congratulations, obviously, to Shaheen for Coach of the Year. And for the boys, they made the Final Four. Someone said to me, if they could have, that was a tough loss against St. John's. I'm like, that's a damn good team they played in St.
Yeah,
John's. And
yeah.
they played them right there, clearly better than anybody else. So, our boys deserve a lot of credit and a lot of support. And I know our boys in the tournament next year. Next year, we're going to do a NCAA watch party together. I guarantee it.
Awesome.
So,
We'll be there. Hey,
all right,
Coach,
thanks, guys. I'll see you Thursday, right?
you got it.
Thank
Yep.
you, Coach.
See you. Bye.
Go
Thanks.
Pirates.
Take care,
Yes,
Coach.
thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
All right, here we go.
We got it. We got a comment from Ann again, praying our ladies all stay healthy and there are no more injuries. Paul, you had a comment you wanted to make.
Yeah, well, before we go, and I'm glad Coach left because I don't want to put him on the spot. But I'm looking at Missouri's numbers.
Oh, God.
Okay, the first, just again, information for the folks who are listening. I'm sure that the coaching staff's is going and Coach Boz are going to have an opportunity to scheme. They haven't done that yet.
They just started watching tape, we found out.
That's right. But just a little information. Missouri's leading scorer is named Grace Slaughter, and she averages 18.6 points a game. Shannon Dowell goes for 15.3, and their forward, Jordana Raceman, 10 points a game. So they've got three ladies in double figures. They also shoot, Grace Slaughter shoots 37% from three, and Jordana Raceman shoots 39% from three. So they look like they score a lot of points. They're going to be a bombs away team. They're going to be throwing up a lot of threes. But the other thing is that they were doing really well until they got into the meat of the SEC schedule, and they're now coming in off a 7-game losing streak.
Yep.
So that's just some information for everybody as we think about the game on Thursday. Again, Slaughter, Dowell, and Riesma are the three names to remember, and they are coming in off a 7-game losing streak. Some of those losses were pretty ugly, as a matter of fact. They lost a game to they lost 108 to 55 to LSU, 112 to 71 to South Carolina. So when they got into the meat of the real good teams in the SEC schedule, they really did struggle down the stretch. So that's my 5-minute scouting report on Missouri.
Hey guys, I have a question. Something just kind of hit my head just now. Coach just said it a million times. Coach Boz during our show and whatnot, that the Big East doesn't get the recognition it deserves in women's basketball. We've heard our own coach Shaw, say that sometimes. Is that a who does that fall on? Is that a commissioner issue? Like, why are we so down in the dumps this year on both the men's and women's side that we're not up to par with anybody else conference wise?
Well, I just got to tell you, there was just somebody, and people send me stuff. I just got something. There's criticism against our commissioner right now. One, she didn't fight enough for like Seton Hall, they're saying. And number two, am I right? Did UConn and St. John's end up in the same bracket?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
How could that happen?
Oh.
Come on,
Yep.
Commissioner.
Yeah.
Well, they've got 22 ACC teams and 20 Big Ten teams in there, and they try to keep them separate. So I guess they had to figure out a way to throw our two teams in the same. I'm going to tell you something, Bobby. This is sacrilege. I hope St. John's wins the whole ball of wax, because that would be the third different Big East team in the past decade
That's
to win a
right.
national championship.
And it would be
And,
the fifth time, Paul. Fifth time.
Yeah, fifth championship and third different team, which is
Yeah.
saying quite a lot for a conference that seems to be down every year.
I admire that point. I can see that. I got a lot of St. John's friends that razz me all the time, so I can see that. And Paul, my condolences on Yale today. I was watching that game.
So,
Hey, Paul, my question to you is: how does the coach's nephew not go to his uncle's program?
well, what I want to understand is for people who don't watch, Fran whatever his
McCaffrey.
name, McCaffrey from Iowa is now the coach at Penn. There's 15 seconds left to go in the game. Yale is up 4. Penn is out of timeouts. Yale hits foul shots and twice calls a timeout to give McCaffrey an opportunity to draw up a play. Penn hits 2 threes, goes into overtime, and now I've got to buy a new television set because I threw a vase at it and shattered the screen. And now I'm going to have to go down to Walmart, pick myself up a new TV to replace the one that I shattered today.
My question is: was John Gaffney working that game? I wouldn't be surprised. These guys, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it was in Ithaca. He was probably driving by Ithaca on his way to another game and just popped in,
Yeah,
picked up a couple of grand, and kept going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did y'all make the NIT, Paul?
I haven't looked yet. I'm going to hope that they do, but they've got some really good players, and that's again we're in a mid-major world where a second Ivy League team is completely outside the realm of any possibility.
I'm telling you, I was watching the pregame of that, or maybe it was halftime of that game, and you wouldn't believe how many NBA players are coming out of Yale.
Yeah, they've got some good. James Jones has done a great job, and I'll tell you something else. Penn won 2 games in overtime. They beat Harvard in overtime. They beat Yale in overtime. I don't have in front of me who they have, but it wouldn't surprise me if I think they're a 14 seed. If they upset a 3, it wouldn't surprise me at all. That team is playing real well, and they don't know that they're not supposed to win.
Yeah, that player,
Paul,
40 points today?
Nick and I went to Florida a few years ago, Paul, to see Seton Hall in a tournament down there, and one of the brackets, the earlier brackets, was Yale, and we chatted with that coach. I was very impressed by him and the job he's doing down there. Excellent job by that coach.
Yeah, well, you got to learn not to call timeout when the other team doesn't have any timeouts left. He's doing a great job, but I ought to choke the man. Okay.
Oh no.
First time I've seen Paul get mad, right? How many years we've done this? How many months?
That's it.
So we got a lot of people hopping on again. So let me just say, giving a recap, Seton Hall did not make the NCAA tournament. We then, the athletic department, the school issued a statement that we will not be playing in any other tournament. We were contractually obligated, the Big East was, to go to the Crown. So we basically, there are 2 reasons that you can pull out of the Crown. One, if you have a coach leaving, which we are told is not the case. Or number 2, if you take a vote of your players and you do not get enough, I think you need 7 or 8 players. So that's what we're told happened. So it's interesting. Coach Bozzella was on in the women's team, and we asked him about voting, and he's like, no, we don't vote. Didn't you guys think that was great?
Yes, that was awesome.
And by the way, another thing that just hit my head as well. Now, if the vote was split
there's
a
only
certain
one
way,
is.
That's
the
right.
vote
That's what he said. We don't vote here. That's why we love Tony. Tony does not hold back.
now, guys, if the vote was split a certain way, right, is that going to cause animosity now? Because maybe there are guys who wanted to play.
Yeah.
It could. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
And are those guys who vote? I'm very curious to know. We'll never see it, obviously. But I'm curious to know what the split was between the players themselves and then between those coming are still involved in the program next year, potentially, or the ones who they know they're done. And, I'd love to see what that divide was. Because something is not right here.
So I just found out my friend Mr. O'Brien was a councilman, and we all know Bill is very much involved in politics, and I'm kind of involved too. But we all know when there's a primary and everyone says, "Oh, they're going to kiss and make up," that never ever happens, right? That
Nope.
never happens. There's always animosity. So that's to your point, Bill. I mean, Bobby, that's to your point. Yes, that's a tough one. If you voted yes and wanted to go, and then it voted no, you're going to have a bad taste in your mouth, I would imagine.
I just can't see leaving $35,000 on the table for guys that are not coming back, not because they're
right.
These are guys that have completed. They don't have any more eligibility. You have at least five guys that have that status. And I cannot see why you want to have a chance to get one, more exposure.
Right.
Two, a chance to win. I'm going to say low end 35,000. So it makes no sense. I think maybe this was an excuse. I guess we'll know more as the days go by. Because tonight was the night that we had to notify the Crown that we were either coming or going. So obviously Seton Hall's statement to the public, pretty clear. We're not going to the Crown. We're not going to the NIT there. So this one is perplexed. I could see if we only had one or two seniors and the rest are like, hey, but yeah, you got guys you have to worry about. We got to worry about Bud and Hines and Simpkins because unfortunately, guys, the money that's out there, a team that can easily take one of them and pay him $500,000, which is nothing for some of these larger schools that have a huge budget. I don't know what our budget is. And Nick, you brought up a really good point. Do we have a budget already for 2026, 2027?
Yeah.
Because right now,
speculation was no. And again, it's speculation. I don't have it from a great source, but that's what I've been told.
And if I'm Coach Shaw and I don't have my budget here, how can I start going after talking to agents right now? Because they're all talking to their agents.
Yeah, that's right.
They're talking to their agents right now.
So someone told me, and Patino said this, so it's no secret, to be competitive in the Big East, what, Paul, 8 to 10 million?
8 to 10 million is what he thinks we ought to spend.
Oh
so,
God.
Gentlemen, I'm gonna sign off. This whole gainful employment continues to cut into my ability to contribute to these conversations, but I do have to go to work tomorrow.
Paul, Tuesday. Tuesday.
Yes, we're still doing it, and I think it's going to be a very interesting conversation now.
Guys, just so you know, Bobby, Patrick Mind, and myself were able to procure Jerry Carino, who's coming on Tuesday. So we'll figure out how we're going to do that, but it's going to be a very interesting show on Tuesday.
And if there's any breaking news in between tonight and Tuesday, Nick, would you go live or, I mean,
let me know.
Anything that's breaking that's substantial, because we might.
No. Something, this happened, and my first text was to Bobby, because Bobby owns Surge, and this is Bobby, and Bobby's like, of course, let's figure it out. So Bobby's definitely proactive, and he's definitely helpful, more than helpful. So, yeah. So that's what happened. So, yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
So if something happens, we will do this again. Now, the only thing I was concerned about doing this is I just wanted to go with the facts, and I think we did a good job of doing, what we know was what were factual,
Yep.
So good.
Yep. All right, gentlemen, final thoughts?
We're hoping the women succeed in the NIT and
BIT.
WBIT. So we'll see what happens on Thursday. And as far as the men's, they had a great season, and that's what it is, my friend.
Yeah, I'll go next real quick before Tom. Like I said, I just told Tom before, got deja vu all over again with Notre Dame having that statement, and then what happened with us with our statement. It just seems to. I'm not saying they're similar, but this is the world of college now. If you don't get your way, and these players who want eligibility. I played 3 games in Africa. I want to play now on a college team. The college sports world is going back to the courts, but it should be on the field and on a basketball court only, not to a judge. I'm sick of it, but we'll see what happens.
The ACC had 8 teams get a chance to play in the Big Dance. 8 teams. We had 3 in the Big East. 3. Should have been 4, at least 4. That would have been fair. I'm looking forward to the future of Seton Hall and seeing what we're going to find out, hopefully in the next coming days. And I don't know. We're going to push for the women here.
Yep. And Tom, think about it. Both the men's and women's Big East teams. How many teams is that? I mean, together, 20? Was there 10 and 10?
21,
right?
22.
22, right? Out of 22 teams, 5 Big East teams made the Big Dance. And either 5. That's it.
And I'll go one more. 5, but only Villanova, right?
UConn.
Only UConn. So how many schools? 3 schools.
Yeah. Right. 3. Yeah.
3 schools.
Had half of that. Jesus.
And St. John's made the BIT as well. So, but just odd that what's up with the Big East? Maybe, as we just discussed, maybe we got to start looking above what's happening with Val Ackerman. Maybe she's above her head now. We had all that storm 2 years ago when we got snubbed, right? Everybody pointed to her, and now here we are again. Men's and women's are not getting well represented, and that falls on the hierarchy.
Yeah, bring us home, Nick.
Guys, let me just say, and Maddie Palm, who never, didn't end up getting on tonight, but Maddie, you're loved. SEC had 10, yes. So let me just say, thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Patrick Min. Thank you for my big brother I never had, Tom Eccles. Guys, thank you for coming on such short notice. We hit a record-breaking number of watchers tonight, of viewers, as this was going on. So there is definitely interest in Seton Hall basketball. So let's just keep this up. And I am bummed out that Bill and Bobby were offered a trip by the exotic car guy to Vegas, and they can't go now. But we'll figure that out. And
hey, exotic car guy, let's talk, man.
Hold up, Nick. Hey, Nick, no. I can open my schedule for Vegas.
No, there's no. He said only if we're in. He said that he was gonna fly you out in his jet.
I appreciate the invite. I'm only kidding with you.
All right. So wait, did you guys get credentials yet for Thursday? I have to email Matt, right?
No, we just bring our. No, we're fine. Just bring your.
Yeah, that's right. You guys are on a higher level.
No. Just bring your.
Bill is like, forget it. Bill can go to any arena, and he was complaining that he wasn't getting hockey credentials for high school, and he shows up and they let him in and put him in the front row. So yeah.
No. All you gotta do is bring a credential. Nick, bring your credential. We're fine.
I'll say it again, Bobby.
Bring your credential. We're fine. We're in.
Okay. I'm gonna
email Matt when I get off here.
But with Bill, it's an ESPN game. You know what that means?
What?
Oh yeah, I know. We got to sit upstairs again.
Oh, we're gonna. You guys. I'm expected to be upstairs. So
All right, fellas.
Great. Thank you, everyone, for viewing. Go Pirates.
All right.
Go Pirates.
I'll talk to you soon.